Hello viewers, yes you guessed right, it's the review edition of the Big League Soccer, the program that takes a look at the big matches around Europe. I'm your regular host Kozim Elebede. With me, I have Babatunde Alao. Baba, how are you?
I'm fine.
And I have Ben Idowu.
I'm happy to be here.
And Julius Ojagbase.
It's good to be back on the show.
The man who predicted Real Madrid, the Madrid derby to be a draw and it ended in a draw. Yes, Julius, how did you see the game?
The game was equally matched. I saw a replay of when we say Madrid versus Barcelona.
Okay.
That is when we have Jose Mourinho. Why I say that is that each time we watch those games, then we see a very aggressive Madrid. But yesterday, I see an aggressive Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid.
The match ended very, very controversially. I mean, it was brawl all over. And it's becoming, I think it's becoming peculiar with Madrid when they don't get what they want. What do you say about that?
But to be honest, yesterday game, I will take different. In like that, Madrid were actually on the pitch to play. But the other team were actually playing those antics, very determined not to let them have their way. As a matter of fact, there was a time in the game they didn't allow the Madrid to actually play. It was tackles,
Vicious tackles all the way. That's the only way they could stop the Madrid from,
Well, you expected that in the derby.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
And Baba,
Yeah.
Juve running away with the title in Italy, defeated Milan 2-0 over the weekend, whereas Roma, who are in second, drew, and Napoli also drew against Livorno. For me, Serie A is wrapped up, packed, packaged, delivered to Juventus. Is that right?
You can say that again, but you have to give it to Juventus for coming up with a very good display, and with the wonder goal scored by
Carlos Tevez.
And I think Milan had it coming anyway. And I would say for this season, Milan is still a team in the building process, and so in top games like that, we expect that the big players will come to play, and that's what Carlos Tevez did.
Yeah.
So I think they're on a good run, and maybe they can post on to lift the Serie A title.
Okay, fine. Ben, one news that will not delight a lot of Chelsea fans. Mourinho is insinuating, Jose Mourinho, Chelsea boss, is insinuating that he will go back to Inter Milan as early as next season. How do you think Chelsea fans will react to that?
Jose Mourinho, everybody know him. He can talk anything at any time. And most time it is not what he's talking that he meant anyway.
Really?
So, going back to Inter Milan, I don't think it will make anything to Chelsea. Chelsea will always get a good coach.
Really?
Yes.
There are not many good coaches
No.
in the
There are
market.
there are so many coaches that want to coach.
Like
Chelsea.
AVB.
No, that was not again. The one that I can show you that next season we are still having Mourinho again. So
Okay. No, it's not certain, but it's sort of flew a kite that if the owner, Chelsea owner, Roman Abramovich says it's over for him today, he will be happy to resurface at Inter Milan. And I know he's been nursing that ambition from the day he left Inter Milan. He and Massimo Moratti, they have this rapport.
Yeah.
They are like father and son. And it's plausible that if he leaves Chelsea today, he would like to go back.
He enjoyed his stay at Inter.
Right. That's where he had the best.
Yes,
moment
I'm
of his
saying that
career.
the best career, the
Moment
best
of his
career.
career,
So
yes.
it was
When
that
he
time.
won
So
treble.
if he's dreaming of going back to that place, I think it is a good thing. But for now, he has a project to do at
But you are sure he won't be next
maybe
season?
next season, maybe let's say 2, 3, 4 seasons.
Now we come to EPL. It was big shock for Arsenal over the weekend. Julius, big shock. And then you were here last week when you predicted that they were going to beat Stoke. Really, I thought they were going to beat Stoke too, but they lost.
Yeah, I predicted a 2-1 win for Arsenal. But if I could have the opportunity when I was watching the game, I would have quickly reverted that prediction because I saw an Arsenal that did not show zeal. Did not show.
And surprisingly, because they didn't have any midweek engagement.
Yes, that's
They were
why.
supposed to be fresh.
That's why I said I'm surprised. There is no commitment, no zeal. And I watch a game for the first time. I watch an Arsenal, which I actually dozing. I mean, I was telling myself, was I watching a game? The Stoke needed the point most.
Yeah.
Watching that game.
But that's not true because they were, until that time, they were title contenders.
No.
But will you still say they are title contenders?
I think they have a very tough games to play.
Match, especially this month,
this
is going to
month,
be
and
very,
even
very
like
huge.
Wenger has admitted that this month will determine what is going
Of
to be
course,
the fate
of
of
course.
Arsenal.
You've got Tottenham, you've got Chelsea, you've got Man City. Hell, three big clubs. In fact, you want to say 3 strongest sides in England. Forget about Liverpool's position. Those 3 clubs have biggest personnel, strongest personnel in the EPL. And you've got the 3 of them this month. Plus Bayern Munich.
In the Champions League. I think Arsenal, I mean, Wenger had it coming. Because I would like to separate Arsenal from the coach. I mean, like I posted on my Facebook and the other time when we lost that game, I said, if you think you are wiser and everybody's, nobody is wiser except yourself, then you are a fool. For every other clubs to be buying players and strengthening their squad, and you have your, at least arguably, the 2 best players this season for Arsenal, that's Ramsey and Theo Walcott out on injury. I mean, and you didn't want to make that commitment to bring in fresh legs. And more talents will be able to make up for these missing guys. Then you have a template.
You see, Baba, there is this argument that if Arsenal had gotten Suarez, they would have won the league by now. Do you agree? And will you say, okay, if you agree, that means not getting Suarez was where Wenger lost the league title?
Not getting Suarez, maybe, then for the fact that Theo Walcott and
no, let's face it.
because
Suarez
those 2 guys bring the lot to the
Baba, Suarez is not playing with Walcott or Ramsey. In fact, the team he plays in Liverpool today, for me, they are not as strong as Arsenal in terms of personnel. If he could score, that's my opinion. If he could score 24 goals, playing with the likes of Sterling, playing with the likes of Henderson, what will he do if he plays with Kazoya of this world, with Ramsey of this world, with Arteta? I mean, I want to believe, if that's my opinion now.
You are talking of a Suarez as a world-class player,
Right?
And his mentality is a fighter.
Fantastic.
He's a fighter. I mean, you can see it when he's playing that he gives everything. So at times you see Arsenal players, I mean, a little bit like a bicycle, and it's like they are not. It's not really getting to them. So if you have a player like Suarez, unlike Ozil that we had, this is a good player, but Ozil is a player that feeds on the help of other players around him. It's not like Suarez that can take the game by the scruff of his neck and get something done.
So Julius, do you agree that not getting Suarez is where Wenger lost the league title?
Well, I will not totally agree to that because for every coach that wants success, they always have what we call a plan B.
Right.
Now, one thing I've constantly see in Arsene Wenger is the inability to redefine the club, because he has settled in with what they have now and is resting on it, which is that they just want to end at the top 4.
Right.
Now, I was agitating, that if we really want to pick this league, in January I paused because I was so excited. I'm an Arsenal fan. I was so excited when we were topping even up to January.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this is our year, but I need to pause to see what my manager does in January transfer.
Right.
Now, when that window closed and he came up with a player that's injured,
Castro.
yes, the player that is injured, and he did not really address the problem of the team at that moment, which we all know it was glaring. The striking
Good. I was going to ask you, what is the problem of the team?
Yeah, it is the striking was obvious.
Right.
You said something the other time. If we have gotten a Suarez, I can guarantee at this point, everybody will have said bye-bye to the Premiership
That's what I'm
because we will have taken that away. You have highlighted a very key point. He's playing with the light of Sterling and all that, and he's giving this. What about with a Cazorla? What about with Ozil? What with
Rosicky?
With Rosicky, I will tell you, Arsenal will have fly past everybody this season because those goals he scored for Liverpool. Push that to Arsenal.
Wow.
Going to be far. But I still say the manager itself is so interested in getting the money they get for qualifying for the Champions League, which is a constant they got for over 7 years right now.
All his seasons
he has
always been
exactly. So
17 years.
So there is no push even from the board for him to do differently. So they are so contented with what they are getting. So that's it. In January, when he did not make the right choice, I already withdraw that we are not going to end with any title, obviously, this season.
Ben, good 18, Chelsea won what I called a difficult derby against Fulham. Yes, bottom versus top, but derby is a derby, and the Fulham held their own for more than 50 minutes. But ultimately, Chelsea's class showed through, and Adriozola got a hat-trick. What do you think it will do for the players' confidence, given that Shola was purchased for like 17-18 million pounds at the beginning of the season, and at best he's been a bit bad player?
I think that game was a big win for Chelsea.
Right. Maybe for Shola.
Yes, I was watching that game, and the first half,
I say, which kind of a team is this? You can't just predict Chelsea.
You couldn't even determine which one was the top or bottom of the table.
Chelsea. I was watching what is happening.
We need this game to stay at top. So but in the second half, you know Mourinho, I said Mourinho must do something.
Right.
But eventually, I read Mourinho said,
I didn't even say anything.
Exactly, I was coming there. Your manager said he didn't say a word.
He said he was so angry that he couldn't even say anything. He said that the players were intelligent enough to know that, see that face, this man is not happy. So they went back and they were on fire. And that German guy, Shola,
Shola.
I was complaining, why was the guy doing in the first half? Was just running about like a headless goat. I said, why remove this man? But when the second half and began to deliver, I said yes. Yes, he is about to win the league this year.
you see, one issue, Shola contradicted Mourinho. He said the manager came in, said a few words and left. But Mourinho said he didn't even utter a word. The question is this: why would Mourinho? What did he stand to gain to mislead the whole world by saying he didn't say a word?
I think I wanted to bring that up thank God you asked the question. Now Mourinho, for me, is the last coach that will go to a dressing room when it's all boiled up and just look the players and walk away. When I was watching the interview after the game, and then they came up with what Shola said, that as a matter of fact, they said he abused, not just walked away. So
and that would be more like Mourinho.
Yes.
Not the type of the coach that would
just walk away. Maybe an Arsene Wenger will come into the dressing room and walk back. But Mourinho will leave a mark in the dressing room.
But Julius, the question is, what did he stand to gain to mislead a global audience?
But that would be prior to this game.
Right.
There was an issue in the press where Mourinho could say that Samuel Eto'o is a thing, and that got to the media.
Right.
So perhaps he was thinking maybe what I've said again, maybe if it get.
But you see, the point is, I say because there are you could lie if you stand to gain anything. I mean, coaches telling us that their teams are not good enough to win the league. We all know to the contrary.
Yes.
But you could say, okay, you want to take pressure away from your team. What did Mourinho stand to gain?
I don't think it's a deliberate lie for a coach that talks too much.
Garulus
and in such a situation, you just say some few words, so you will have forgotten that. It's like I'm not saying anything at all.
he said normally if you want to continue to talk, you talk for 10 minutes. and that's okay. Since I don't get 10 minutes to talk, don't just let me
if he had the chance to substitute the whole 11 players, he would have done that right at the end of the half time. And Man City, yes, they buried the ghost of Wigan or the FA Cup final defeat of last season by beating Sunderland 3-1. It was a brilliant final for me, but City ultimately won, and they are truly fantastic goal. For me, one of the contenders of goal of the season. Baba, what do you think?
I think Yaya Toure is just living up to type and a big player.
Really African footballer.
Yeah, I mean, a big player. He's been with
Has he justified it this season?
Yeah.
To Nigerians who felt, Mikel was wrong.
You can't compare Mikel with Yaya Toure. It's like compare day and light. I mean, day and night. I mean, so they are miles apart.
They are both midfielders.
Of course. And that's what we have been saying about Mikel, that you need to start playing up to your potentials. You don't have to play just to the instruction of your coach. All the time,
you see?
Mikel case, Yaya Toure. That's why I always get angry when people are talking about Mourinho or any coach destroy Mikel. You have your life to live.
Right.
You have your career to prove that you are up to something.
Yeah.
I don't think, because after Mourinho, how many coaches have come to Chelsea? Has anything changed about Mikel?
Nothing.
I think he was contented about getting that money, retaining my place in the team. Let me play it safe.
No class, no extra. When you are doing something and you are not giving extra, you will remain the same. I think that's the problem with Mikel.
But I think I will differ a little bit.
Alright.
When you say Mourinho have not done anything or contributed to Mikel. Now, sorry. You and I know after the under-20 World Cup, when Siasia
2005.
Yes. Shortly, there was controversy between Man United and Chelsea, who really has this player.
Yeah.
And I remember when Mikel was signed on, one of the issues we have was that Makaleli was
playing for
Chelsea. And I know, and Mourinho called him aside. The only reason you can be in my team is to play that role.
Right.
And you and I know the role of Makaleli. Simply just play it safe. So, Mourinho, in my opinion, Mourinho contributed to reshaping Mikel's football.
Yes, I'm not.
Julius, somebody else will argue this way. That Mikel has to help himself in the sense that Yaya Toure plays virtually the same place as Mikel. Instead of playing as a defensive midfielder, he comes forward on his own volition and attacks and scores brilliant goals like we saw against Sunderland over the weekend. Baba, what do you say to that?
I think Mikel is he's just playing to the coach's instruction. He doesn't want to give anything extra. And like Julius have said earlier, this was a player that was discovered playing as an attacking midfielder with the national team at the under-20 level. And he was called and rated behind Messi,
right,
who has won the World Footballer of the Year for four times now. So now when you get to Chelsea, I don't think Mikel sees himself as a big player. He still feels that, okay, there's Lampard, there's all these other guys, so let me just, like we call it in the Nigerian parlance, let me just give them the ball for them to do. But when he comes back to the national team here, he feels like the big boy, and that's why he doesn't want to play that particular role in the national team. You see, he wants to play in the 10.
Yeah.
He wants to play 10, but when he gets back to Chelsea, he just plays 55. So I think, apart from the fact that Mourinho played, the conversion, converts him to play as a Makelele. But he still had that innate personality to go forward, and if he wants to bring this to bear for Chelsea like he's doing the national team, he can as well do it.
Which means Mikel's problem will be complex.
Yeah.
You know, at Chelsea, he sees himself, according to Baba, he sees himself as a small boy, whereas at the national team, Nigerian national team, he sees himself as the player playing for the biggest club among all of them, exactly. And as such, the superstar in the team.
And sir, before we leave the matter, we need to understand again that if you look at the pedigree of Yaya Toure coming to City, is the biggest boy as it is.
Okay.
So that's that freedom. Exactly. That will play out in the way, because much is expected of him. As a matter of fact, if you remove one or two players. I think is the biggest as it is right now in City.
Even this season is the best midfielder in terms of output.
Exactly.
He has scored 13 Premier League goals.
Exactly.
I'm not talking even about the assists. That position used to be occupied by Frank Lampard.
Exactly.
Toure has taken over, and that's his probably third season in England. Unlike a Mikel, who's probably spending his 8th season or 9th season.
And with what I said, Yaya Toure's position in City is far bigger than Yaya Toure has the liberty. He has
He's a big boy.
Yes, the liberty to go.
Not in terms of size, in terms
when you have that confidence, you can try anything. When you try anything. Yeah.
Now that brings us back to the goal he scored against Sunderland. It was opined by some people that goal was meant to be a cross, that it was accidental. Honestly, I disagree. I don't know what to feel.
I think that's pure genius.
If you watch, he meant it. Okay, off camera we're saying that goal, and we looked at it. Okay, it's pure genius. Those are.
If it was going to be a cross, to whom?
So those are kind of goals that enrolls you to become
a world class.
Exactly.
A special talent.
Exactly. That will begin to look at, okay, maybe the Ballon d'Or will begin to enroll you and say, you know what, I think
that's a long shot.
Yeah, well, those are kind of goals you see the Messi, the Ronaldo score, and you say, what a goal. I think Yaya Toure has really come of age in my own case.
Yes. Also, in the EPL over the weekend, Tony Pulis, that's talking about Crystal Palace coach, he came out and said he will fine Jerome Thomas for diving, that the club is going to fine him. He said he wouldn't stand it, and I think it's a very good development. Ben, what do you think?
I think as a coach, you have to set a standard.
Right.
And when I read that and I said yes, it's a good direction to go.
Do you think other coaches
if your coach can do that to you, right, then if you know whatever come outside, then you have to take
definitely
it.
It would the bad players from diving. It will make the game cleaner. But the question is, do you think other coaches will follow suit?
Well, I think it's a game. And sometimes in football, you have to bring out the tricks sometimes to win a game.
Not dirty tricks.
Well, we can target dirty tricks.
It's a dirty trick.
Okay, we can say dirty tricks, but these are tricks that have won teams points over and over in time. So
unfortunately,
I don't see every coach now trying to emulate what he has done.
For the good of the game, honestly, for me, I think it's a laudable idea, and for me, that has put Tony Pulis in contention for FIFA Fair Play Award this year.
Well, you can say that, but I don't see all coach. I mean, I don't say Mourinho tell his player don't die if you have to get me a point, but it's part of the game. It's part of the game. If the officials are not,
Julius,
punishing those players,
Julius,
then you want me as a manager to
I put it to you. Do you want diving to be stamped out of the game or not?
Yes.
Good. Do you want it to be stamped out of the game or not?
I don't.
Baba?
I don't want to isolate diving because there are several other controversial issues when
yes, but it's diving.
We have been talking of Suarez. I mean, as a wonderful player, as a good player. Right. Remember at the World Cup, he deliberately handled the ball,
right?
And that was sanctioned. Fine, but he was sanctioned.
Penalty.
But it doesn't change it.
Julius have said that. I mean, when the game is on, adrenaline is pumping. You want your team to win. You can go to any length to help your team to win.
And anything cheating. Another thing, sir. You are a coach, sir. And yes, I saw something from coaches. Every coach will go to any length to win. Number one, to win a game. Then at times to defend his player. So I don't know where.
There has to be a line. To be honest with you, there has to be a line. One of the reasons why I commend Tony Pulis for taking that initiative is because yes, I'm a trained coach. I would love diving to the standard of the game. Fairness to Moyes also criticized Ashley Young at the beginning of the season, just like Sir Alex did last season. I think coaches should seize the bull by the horn and sanction players who try to win points unfairly.
I think that at that point we'll be taking it too far.
I will want to leave the entire buck into the officials. Let the official judge what a diving is,
and let official.
Now,
take
if somebody issues your player a yellow card, maybe a second yellow card for a fair fall, the official interpreted to be a dive. Who you feel?
If you have just said it, he interprets it that way. We have seen a lot of wrong interpretations.
So no problem.
There's no problem.
Now, while police tried to set good examples for coaches over the weekend, we had a terrible example for coaches from the same EPL over the weekend. Talking about Newcastle coach Alan Pardew. Honestly, I just couldn't find any words to describe that madness. Your team were leading comfortably away from home, 3-1 at the point if I remember correctly, and you tried to prevent opposition from taking a quick throw-in. In the process, he stooped so low to the extent of booting an opposition player. The club has declared that he's been sanctioned is to fine £100,000, a lot of money, but should it end there?
Well, it won't. I think the FA should still come.
FA, do you think it's fair punishment?
Well, you see, when we make these people look like a saint,
an angel, it's unfair. Now, it is not the first time Alan Pardew did.
It's not the first time he's
early this season. Yeah, even against Arsene Wenger, there was a game they showed it was almost going into. So it is the character as right. It is. We could criticize him as we are, but I think whatever punishment that is meted out for him, let him serve it. And I think as time goes on, he will say it's no more popular. I'm assuming that.
He said he will not be sitting down.
Exactly. So
then the question is, the club has fined him £100,000, a lot of money, but do you think that is enough from the club?
No.
Some people were even saying he should be sacked. Do you think that is too much?
Like Alan Shearer.
Right.
It was. I was watching him and
he was
shaking his head. I mean, that you can't defend that.
It's indefensible
at all.
So I'm sure the biggest thing that will come is from the FA. This one is, I think, it's a small one.
Okay. Viewers, that is where we want to stop today. I hope you've had a nice time. Thank you, Julius, for being part of the show. Ben.
And thank you so much for being part of the show.
And Baba, thank you so much for being part of the show.
It's a pleasure.
You have the chance to post your comments on all these issues. Yes, we have said our own, what we feel should be.
I mean, some of the panelists said the £100,000 for Alan Pardew is not big enough. Of course, nobody said he should be sacked. What do you think should be done to him? How do you react to Tony Pulis's sanction or intended sanction on one of his players who dived, tried to con the referee to win a penalty? There are so many issues. Do you think they are actually meant to shoot at goal, or he meant to cross the border, turned out to be a very, very beautiful goal? We have all heard our views here. Over to you, viewers. Post your comments and we'll go through them. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.